All right. Last week, Perk said that Rondo should be in the Hall of Fame. So with the Hall of Fame induction this Saturday, let's actually give proper attention and settle this. Why does Rondo belong in the Hall of Fame? By the way, the 2025 class, Melo, Sue Bird, Dwight Howard, Maya Moore, 2008 U.S. Olympic men's basketball team, Billy Donovan, and others.
They keep skipping over our Olympic team, man. It's tough.
When I got bronze?
Why does Rondo belong in the Hall of Fame?
Why doesn't he, Allie? That's the question. Why don't he? When you think about it, look at his resume. Again, 3-time assist leader, 1-time steals leader. I think he made all defense 3 or 4 times, 4-time All-Star, 2-time champion with 2 of the most historic franchises in sports. And what I'm saying is, I hate to bring Reggie Miller into this, but I got to compare resumes. Reggie Miller, 5 times he made the NBA, he was the NBA All-Star, okay? 5 times, right? Rondo, 4 times. Reggie Miller, no championships. Rondo got 2, right? All-time assist leader 3 times. Like, this matters. So if I Google and put their resume side by side for as they accolades, how doesn't he get in?
I would say we could pick a better person than Reggie Miller to compare him to. I know you're not. You're just looking at accolades. Relax. I'm agreeing with you that Rondo has a legitimate case.
Is Klay Thompson a Hall of Famer, a future Hall of Famer?
First ballot.
Okay.
First ballot.
We're not comparing Klay. We're not comparing Klay Thompson and Rondo. I'm not. No offense. I can't do that.
Yeah. Wow.
I think Rondo is a great player. Rondo on neither one of those teams was the Batman or Robin, right? Was he the leader? Was he a floor general? For sure. But you wouldn't say on the Lakers when he won, nor on Boston, he was the first or second.
Let me wait really quickly. This is my biggest thing that I want people to start giving more recognition to, because if you're the defensive player of the year, you look at like Ben Wallace, you look at Dikembe, a lot of these guys, they made their success on the defensive end. So when you look at, let's say for Rondo, if he was a 4-time All-Star and was a 4-time All-Defensive player, to me, that's the same equivalent at being like a 9-time All-Star. That's the way I see it. I look at that because there are guys there are players that were 8-time All-Stars that were never made an All-Defensive team. Right? Doesn't mean that, like, you know what I'm saying? But if you're an 8-9-time All-Star, you're gonna get into the Hall of Fame. If you're not 8-9 10-time All-Star, 1-2 All NBAs. If you're a 4-time All-Star, 5-time All Defensive team, I think that those things are actually weighed somewhat evenly. Somewhat.
All I'm saying is this, just to the Klay Thompson point to you, Channing.
Right.
5 times. I mean, he's a 5-time All-Star.
Okay.
He made All NBA 3rd team twice. 1 All NBA 2nd team, All Defensive 2nd team.
Okay.
When you look at their resume side by side with their accolades, I just don't get it.
There's 4 championships and 7 finals, and I'm not saying look, that's a part of the equation. As a part, well, you just get so
I'm hungry.
So he's been the second. He's been the second guy on a 4-time championship team.
He hasn't been the second guy on the 4-time. He was the second guy on 1. They got KD for the other 2, which made KD and Steph. Then the last one, Andrew Wiggins was the second best player next to Steph Curry. So let's get that straight now. Let's get that out the way. All right, cool.
Apologies for my ignorance here. When did Rondo officially retire?
I don't think he had to. I think he put it out there.
I'm very confused why people do that.
Because I did just look up primary criteria for the Hall of Fame, and you have to be at least retired for at least 2 full seasons.
Yeah.
This actually says his eligibility isn't even until 2026.
Oh.
Okay.
That's why
I just recently. Yeah.
So I'm wondering right now, like, we're talking about, you believe he should be upon that
his
eligibility time.
requirements. Not right
Yeah,
now,
requirements.
not today, but I'm saying whenever he's eligible, he should be in the Hall
He
of
should
Fame.
be in the Hall of Fame.
No one's over here arguing with you, bro. No one's.
No, I was a little bit. I was, but he's making
Okay.
good
Well, I
points.
was not arguing your point. I was trying to give him credit towards all defensive teams because I think people don't necessarily equate that with being an all-star. If you're one of the top 15 defensive players in the NBA, like that is one of the most grueling jobs that you can be a part of. That to me, being an all defensive team, that's harder than scoring 15 to 17 a night. In my opinion, if you start getting the 20s, it's harder. 15 to 17 a night, and you're an all defensive player. That's equivalent.
And let's bring this up real quick. When he was three times he led the league in assists, right? Who was in the league at that time? Like,
What year was
J
it?
Kidd, Steve Nash, Chris Paul,
my point
Darren
exactly.
Williams.
So
it was a John
like
Wall.
it was
a
real.
Derrick Rose.
It was
right?
real.
It was a point guard. It was a point guard league at that time. Like,
Okay.
I'm telling you, I'm spitting facts with my guy.
Along those lines, which current player won't make the Hall but should, in your eyes?
The NBA Hall of Fame, and it's not at the NBA, it's the Basketball Hall of Fame. So I would say most people that should get in. It's not the most, it's not, if you're talking about criteria, I think baseball is the hardest, then football, and then basketball. If we're talking about the three, like the big three. Basketball
you think DeMar DeRozan gets in?
Yes.
Do you think
Jimmy Butler gets in?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Bam.
Or not? Well, I don't like talking about guys that are in their first like half of their career. Right? I'm talking about guys that like Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry
is here's my argument with Kyle Lowry. He's the greatest player of that organization. He has to get in
of all time. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But just because you're the greatest of an organization, but no, I'm just saying just because that's the criteria doesn't mean you automatically get into the Hall of Fame. Right. So I'm not disputing what you're saying, but that's not that's the solidifying factor.
Right.
It's like you want to
Paul George a Hall of Famer? Future Hall of Famer?
By the criteria in which we've seen like T-Max, Chris Webber's that were like, I think 8-time All-Stars. When you start getting by that criteria, the answer is yes. The answer is yes.
Why is everyone forgetting that he plays for the Sixers?
Because he didn't play for the Sixers.
He'll be out there. Listen, I play for whoever I want to in my mind.
Yeah, no, and that's more of just saying that like he didn't have an opportunity to have an impact. Then you had the Joel Embiid situation. Paul George hyperextended his knee in the preseason. He was battling uphill as a 30-something-year-old wing player, battling uphill from the preseason.
Right,
then
but you shouldn't forget that Paul George plays for the Philadelphia 76ers.
But he hasn't had his typical Paul George impact. Right, that he normally has. Normally, his team show up in the postseason. Indiana, OKC, Clippers.
Are you guys off the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I was gonna ask who the toughest point guard was that you guys had to face before we move on.
Jason Kidd.
Did you just wink at Channing?
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Dude was an absolute like
it was a problem.
Dude was a different.
He's just so fucking big,
and he dominated both ends of the floor. Dominated both ends. He was very similar to Rondo, right? Very similar, very very similar, but he was bigger, right? Yeah. He was bigger. He was like Rondo. Like you go look at J Kidd's accolades, right? Having 4-time like assist leader, 3-time steal leader, 9-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA. Like when you go, like he was Rondo, respect, but bigger. Led 2 teams to the finals. I think he played in 3 finals, won 1 championship, was the best player on 2 finals teams, right? So like J Kidd is like Rondo is like one of those guys, one of the great point guards of his era. But when you start talking about J Kidd, like we're talking about great point guards of the history of the game.
Post game, everything.
Oh
But
my God. He would guard I saw him guard Corliss Williamson. He would guard Foreman.
That's a hell of a name.
That like he was guarding actual power forwards. We would switch 1 through 4. So Al Harrington would get J Kidd on the block. I would switch, and then all of a sudden, like J Kidd is like you and like
and Corliss Williamson was a tough ass cover.
He was a power forward. Back when power forwards were.
They were power forwards wasn't nice. David West, Dirk. You had
KG, Duncan. You had every night you had to strap your shoes up.
Murray.
Every dollar,
Brand.
Jason Kidd is the reason why my kids go to private school.
You know who? Derrick Rose, his MVP season was.
I was just about to say that. Even before his MVP season.
Nah, the MVP season, it was just like we know he didn't just show up. He was rookie of the year.
No. But hear me out.
You're gonna say the same thing.
I played against Derrick Rose in one of the best playoff series in NBA history. When we played them played the Bulls 2009, 7-game series, right? Ben Gordon, you remember when he was going off? Ray had a 50 ball. Rondo averaged a 21-point triple-double in that series. Me and Jakeem Noah going back and forth. Derrick Rose, game 1, came out and had, I believe it was like 35 in the Garden. When I say I didn't have a fucking answer in that drop coverage, dog, the scariest thing.
Drop coverage with him and Kyrie. I don't think there's been any player where it could be a nightmare. You just see a storm coming at you.
And this is when centers, and Tom Thibodeau was my defensive coordinator. Centers were in the drop coverage. This way before switching. So I'm playing against a Brad Miller. He's setting these screens. And D Rose coming off downhill with the herky-jerky. If he's not getting all the way to the basket, he had that nice off-balance float action. And
pop up real quick off 2.
He bust my ass in that pick and roll. Rondo didn't fucking talk to me that entire day until we got to game. That like the rest of the off day until we got to game 2. I was like, bro, what the hell you want me to do?
Are you okay, Channing?
Dude, that was funny, Richard. You're slick. But dude, when he would do this and then drop and go do it, we were like, man, I can't move my feet that fast, little fuckers.
Now, I don't know if I've told the Tony Parker story, right? But Tony was a hyper competitive point guard. People don't give him enough credit for how competitive he is. Obviously, he won all the championships and stuff, but within that little French frame is a hyper competitive individual. And so we weren't double teaming. We were doing our traditional defense. And Derrick Rose had a first half that was so aggressive. Pop came in and was like, hey, Tony, I see what you're trying to do, but we're probably going to have to switch it up a little bit. And Tony was like, okay. But it's for that's what I'm saying. Tony Parker's a Hall of Fame point guard. And he was in his prime, and Derrick Rose was young Derrick Rose. And all of a sudden it was wah. And Pop came in. Tony, I appreciate it. Let's see what you're doing. I respect the fight, but we're probably going to have to switch this whole kind of the dynamic up. And Tony's like, okay.
Yeah, Steve was like, damn, Chenny, we gonna both need some help. I said, shit, hell yeah, we are. Because Steve would get hit on that screen, and he like, man, I can't run that fast, Channing. I said, no one could.
Dude.